Morning. It's Monday, September 13th, and over the weekend, by order of President Joe Biden, the Federal Bureau of Investigation released the first of several documents that it intends to release that cover the actions of the Saudis with respect to the 9/11 attack. Now, this document is heavily redacted, and that bothers me. We release a document that is supposed to shed light on one of the most horrible events in our history, and we may only be getting 10% of the story because of everything that's redacted in this document. And supposedly, the FBI is going to release several more documents, and I'm sure they will be heavily redacted, and they won't really convince anybody whether or not the Saudi government had anything to do with 9/11. It's clear that the Saudis, the perpetrators of 9/11, of the 19 people involved in the attacks on 9/11, were Saudi nationals. And this document also states that there were Saudis living in the United States who may have been agents, intelligence agents of the Saudi government, who helped the attackers while they were in the United States preparing to hijack planes and crash into the towers. That at least several Saudi citizens provided housing and logistical support to the perpetrators of the attack on 9/11. Now, this document was put together using multiple connections with various people who knew of a Saudi student, supposedly a Saudi student, but whom the FBI suspected was an intelligence agency. And he was deeply involved with providing travel assistance, housing, and financing. This information was gotten by witness testimony, and it details the multiple connections that this so-called student had with the Saudis who were on that plane. Really doesn't go into the nitty-gritty that we need. So the whole issue is still up in the air because of the redacting. Now, several members of families that died in the 9/11 attack and other survivors of the 9/11 attack are satisfied with the report that was put out, claiming that it puts any doubts about Saudi involvement to bed. It shows complicity in the attacks, but it never gets to the level of the Saudi government, level that one might expect. And I'm sure that there are many in this country who do not want the Saudi government, to be found guilty, because that would upset some of the relationships that we have formed with the Saudis over the years. I'm not so sure that it's a good idea to release documents like this that are heavily redacted. I mean, that only leads to, I think, confusion on the parts of those who are looking for real answers. In fact, even in the article, it says it's an unfortunate number of redactions. The report gives much important information, but it also leaves out much important information. And the most important thing is it can't prove one way or the other whether the Saudi government knew anything or not. So we know Al-Qaeda was instrumental in these attacks. And we know that 15 of the attackers were Saudi nationals. A gangster fringe, a group of people just angry at the United States. I don't believe that, but we have no proof. So the bottom line is there's no evidence that the Saudi government as an institution or any senior member of the Saudi government individually funded Al-Qaeda. Now, you know, this report came out of the 9/11 commission that was formed in 2004 to investigate and get to the bottom of who was responsible for this attack. And the 9/11 Commission has been used as an example for possibly setting up a commission on the January 6th attack on the Capitol, but that hasn't gotten anywhere yet. Anyhow, in getting back to this report from the FBI, did not include any exhaustive investigation of evidence of the Saudi government being involved in the 9/11 attack. And it's like a dead end, Spend all this money getting the report. Who's reading it? It proves nothing, and then it's redacted beside. It's even worth having a commission if the true facts are not available to everybody. And listen, I know that foreign policy is a difficult business. We quite often have to deal with people who are unsavory characters for one reason or another, but we're with them. We have to deal with them. They exist in the world. And that's the way it is with the Saudi government. We have to deal with them. In that part of the world, they're an ally, and we need some allies in that part of the world. So maybe that's why a lot of this stuff is redacted. A lot of it may also be redacted because of the lawsuit that was filed against Saudi Arabia by many families in the United States because they were believed to be complicit in the 9/11 attack. And that lawsuit, as far as I know, has not been settled. It is an ongoing suit, been going on, I don't know for how long. But in any event, if this information was leaked or not redacted, that might influence the lawsuit. But this is a lawsuit that's in an international court, and I don't know how long that could take, or whether even if they won the case, even if the U.S. citizens won the case, I don't know if they could collect a dime, Because I don't believe that the Saudis are going to admit to anything related to 9/11. They have taken a position and they better stand by it because it wouldn't be good for them. It wouldn't be good for the rest of the world to hear them admit that they funded this attack. That'll never happen. So I suspect that even the rest of the documents that are released by the commission will prove nothing. In my opinion, redacted reports are worthless. They create more questions than answers. So that's it for today. Frustrating as it may be, that's it for today. So I'll see you in the morning. Bye.